wanted this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode, podcast, to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat and all the people that are telling me I spelled a certain thing wrong. Appreciate it. This has been an absolute hectic morning. It will get fixed. I absolutely appreciate you guys. Everybody that went yo's in the chat. Thank you, everybody. We're going to have a good, fun-filled show. Everything's going to get corrected. I've just been trying to get everything situated here. Super busy morning here for me on my end. So thank you, everybody, right? The show must go on. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here on your way in. And let me just do a real quick shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Of course, that's going to be none other than BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. But let's go and get started here. Let's go and get some shout-outs here to the people that are currently in the chat right now that are always rocking with us. Appreciate you, man. We got Ivan. We got Dashing. We got Michael, Daniel, Mace, Jr., X, AC. What's up, y'all? Thanks for being here in the chat. Today, we're going to be, obviously, if you haven't taken a look at the misspelled at this time title or the thumbnail. I need to find out where the misspelling was, but I'm pretty sure there's a misspelling here. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Kyler Murray. We're going to be talking about Kyler Murray here and his thoughts on obviously heading into Week 10. And I still can't believe we're heading into Week 10, ladies and gentlemen. It's still a shock to me that we are talking about, I feel like we were just talking about preseason like literally a week ago. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that we're here right now, but hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. The Arizona Cardinals currently right now are 5-4, and I'm still kind of going back and forth if we should be doing a live play-by-play this coming weekend. And I'm not sure if you guys were familiar, but the last 3 games we did play-by-plays for the Arizona Cardinals, and guess what? I've been wearing the lucky jersey, and we're 3-0. So I'm not sure if we should continue the trend. Let me know in the chat here if you do enjoy it, and let me know if we should. But let's get started here. A lot to dive into today, obviously all surrounding Kyler Murray. He went ahead and joined the media yesterday, and I want to kind of just give some kudos to him, right, and how he's been performing in a level of, obviously wins are very, very important, but just the elevation of his career and his maturity has just hit a all-time high that I'm very proud. I'm very, very proud. And I know there's a portion of the Cardinal fans out there that feel like I wanted Kyler Murray gone. That was far from the truth. That's far. I've never, ever once said Kyler Murray needs to lose his job. All I said was accountability, right? We need to have accountability. We need to get better and better and better. And for some reason, that to some people means I want him out. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but never do. We're always going to back K1, and we need to hopefully see what happens here moving forward. So let's go and dive right into a couple different things here, what Kyler Murray had to say about, obviously, this where we are right now within this season, currently 5-4. He says that there's no surprise to him. He actually thought we were going to be better, but this is what Kyler Murray had to say about, obviously, the question when asked about the Cardinals being 5-4, potentially going into 6-4 if we take care of business here in Week 10.
I don't think anybody in the locker room is really surprised by it. You know, that's where I think it differs from everybody outside of here is, I mean, I could have told you all, I felt like our record would be better than this right now. You know, I can say that, but, yeah, I think just the way we approach every single day and the way we attack every single day, just taking it one day at a time, focusing on the process and playing one game at a time, not really focus on the future, and that's how you get the results. I don't see this group looking too far ahead.
Shout out here to Uncanny here, 7-1 Suns, ASU 6-2. 6-4 Cardinals soon. Love to hear it. Love the optimism because like I said before, I'm not sure if it's because we're starting to be a little bit more consistent with when we're doing live streams, but we are seeing a level of excitement, right? Excitement amongst this fan base right now, and I love it. I love every bit. I love every bit of it because everybody's engaged. Everybody wants to have a conversation, and again, right, continue to talk about Kyler Murray and the way that he speaks to just this culture of what's being established here from Jonathan Gannon, right? It's so weird because like we live in a state where if the Cardinals were, let's say, for example, 3-5, right? Or 4-5, right? A lot of the things that we're hearing from Jonathan Gannon slash Kyler Murray, a lot of people would just sneeze at it. Everybody would say, oh, yeah, but that doesn't get you wins, right? But hearing it now, it does make sense, right? You're 5-4. Now, Kyler Murray says it's no surprise. He actually thought his record was going to be better than currently 5-4, but you also got to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and the Cardinals had such a tough start to their schedule, with the Bills and the Lions. And I know we keep using that over and over again, but it's the truth. It really is. You're not going to see any other team out there that has as tough of a schedule to start the 2024 season that you had in the Arizona Cardinals. Like it's tough. Now people are starting to see it, right? Now, obviously, if you're constantly being a team that is hanging your hat on moral victories, right? A lot of people aren't going to see it, right? But the Cardinals have learned how to win these one possession games, right? Chad Ryland has come in a time where there was a lot of uncertainty with Matt Prater. What's going to happen with Matt Prater this next year? We don't know, right? We don't know. I know he's getting up there in age. Chad Ryland so far has done wonders for the Arizona Cardinals, and that's not an easy thing to do, right? To step in clutch moments, to kick very crucial game-winning field goals is not an easy thing to do. So that just kind of goes in to show what is being happening, right, with just this culture. You can bring a guy that was, I believe it was a 4th-round pick to the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken, either a 4th or a 5th-round pick, Chad Ryland was, and obviously he didn't have a good start to his career with the New England Patriots. They let him go. They released him, right? They didn't have faith in him. But man, resiliency, right? You got another opportunity. Take advantage of the opportunity, and that's what he did, man. Shout out to Chad Ryland. Clutch, absolute clutch acquisition here from Monty Ford, and super excited about what he can do, maybe potentially being kicker of the future for the Cardinals, and I love it. I love every second of it. Let's move on over to this next question, where I think this was actually a really good question, and I like this response from Kyler Murray because he was asked about this specific win. Because if you look at the stats, ladies and gentlemen, Kyler Murray didn't have a good statistical stat sheet in Week 9 versus the win against Chicago. Now, he was asked about that, and I love this answer. Check this out.
To win that way, or with you having to do what you can do?
A win is a win. Obviously you want to throw the ball around the yard and, have all the flashy plays, but it's too hard to win in this league. So, you take it and we move on to the next one.
We've heard multiple times in post-game shows, right, that Kyler Murray wants to get the ball in his hand more. And as a competitor, as a guy that knows he can be potentially very, very great within this league, right? Obviously, need to stay healthy, need to be able to execute, right? With all those things being said, the attributes, the ability, the things that Kyler Murray can do is what 80%, 90%, 95% of what the quarterbacks currently right now only wish that they could be able to do, right? Kyler Murray's got an absolute gift, and it's to be able to extend plays with his legs, and he's uber fast, right? Uber fast, especially if you're trying to get a linebacker to catch him, right? Especially if he's on that next speed. Now, also has really, really good arm talent as well. Now, have we seen it on a consistent basis? I think we've seen enough to say this might be 2021 Kyler Murray, but to me, I still want to see a little bit more, right? I still want to see, give me more consistency, right? Now, I'm not just saying this game just alone, right? I'm trying to see the passing game in general, right? And that's not all on Kyler. That's on these wide receivers as well. I need everybody to get into a kumbaya and make sure that the consistency needs to be on point. But I love his response. I really do. I think he hits it right on the head because he is putting the team over him, right? He is. He absolutely is, right? He could have came out and said, oh, yeah, I want my stat sheet to be A, B, and C. And although he kind of hinted to it, right, that he kind of does, it is very hard to win in the NFL. It really is. So you got to take advantage of the opportunities that's provided to you, right? And what was the opportunity that was given to us versus Chicago? That they couldn't stop the run. James Conner, Amari DeMarcado, and Trey Benson did anything they wanted to that Chicago Bears defense. Anything they wanted, right? Anything they wanted. And that was the way to win. Bleed out the clock. The Cardinals were 20 points ahead of them, right? It almost kind of seemed like when some sort of momentum happened for the Chicago Bears, it got shut down real quick by this Arizona Cardinal defense. So there is a lot to be said about it's so hard to win in the NFL. You got to take the wins as they come, right? Now, you never know. We might be talking about a 250, 3-touchdown passing game versus the Jets. You never know, right? Or you might see another crazy performance by this run game, right? But one thing that I can say is Kyler Murray is taking care of the ball, right? Boneheaded mistakes aren't happening. So take care of the ball, manage the game, let the run game eat, and of course, hopefully we can execute on those play action deep shots to either Marv, Michael, or Trey McBride. Love it. Love to hear it. Now, he was also asked about Baron Browning. If you guys don't know, we just released a video about Baron Browning, and I don't know if you guys know about Iniki Ngakoue, a familiar name that you probably already heard me say multiple times about a month ago about the Cardinals potentially going after a free agent, and he was signed by the Ravens, and guess what? He was released. He was released by the Ravens not too long ago, earlier this morning. So that's all in that last video. If you haven't checked it out, highly recommend you check it out. But let's talk about Baron Browning here for a second, right? Kyler Murray was asked about Baron Browning and how he feels about him, and this is what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can add a player with the caliber that Baron's got. I mean, I remember, I don't know if we came out of the same class, but I know he was a 5-star, one of the best players coming out of high school. Went to Ohio State, so I was very familiar with the rankings and all that stuff even then. So I mean, I personally know what he's capable of. Obviously, I think he's had some injuries and stuff like that, stay on the field, which we all deal with. But, when he's on the field, he's very explosive, got ability, obviously. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the opportunity that he adds to add to the team and come off the edge, obviously, and get the passer, because that's a crucial part of the game.
Absolutely a crucial part of the game. Absolutely a crucial part of the game, because I think right now where we are at, I think we could all kind of say to ourselves that, man, if this pick works for Monty Ossenfort, right? If this pick works for Monty Ossenfort, I think he deserves a longer leash with the fan base, right? And that's including myself too. And obviously, if I ever kind of get in place, you just remind me. Hey, let him do his thing. Just keep reminding me here in the chat. I think sometimes we might be a little jumping of the gun because of where we are at and what was in front of us. But I think what we got to sit back and just allow it to happen. And if it goes sideways, then we talk about it then, right? But obviously the Arizona Cardinals believed in Baron Browning to give up a 6th-round pick. Kyler Murray had some pretty high praises about him as well. And we got to allow him to see what he can do for the 2024 Arizona Cardinals, because is he the best pass rusher on this team already? We don't know, right? But maybe. We'll see what happens. So super excited about him. I really am. I want to see what he does. Now, big question out there, is he going to be playing in week 10? We don't have the confirmation yet. If there is some sort of maybe he will, it might be very, very limited, but don't be surprised that if he doesn't play, right? Don't be surprised if he doesn't. After the bye week is going to be something that definitely keep your eyes on there. But I want to talk about this real quick, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys do not know, Darren Urban of the Arizona Cardinals put this tweet out probably about 20 minutes ago that Darius Robinson was not present again during the open portion of practice. So he hasn't been practicing since the beginning of this week either, right? I don't think we've seen him at all this week. He hasn't been practicing at all. After the unfortunate news of his mom passing and the re-aggravation of his calf, what we kind of know is the questions that are asked about Jonathan Gannon. And it's trending in the right direction, but don't even think that he's going to be playing in week 10. That's all I could say. Don't even think he's going to be playing in week 10. Don't even think about it. I'm sorry, not week 10. Did I say week 10? Yeah, that is week 10. Yeah, we are in week 10. Wow. Yeah, don't even think about it. Let's focus after the bye week. The Cardinals defense right now have plenty of things to work with right now with Nick Rallis. Let's just allow him to recover either emotionally or physically, and then we'll reconvene when hopefully he's ready to get on the field, and hopefully it's after the bye week, but even then, not 100% certain, right? Not 100% certain what's going on. So for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, Darius Robinson was not present in practice again and wasn't at practice all this week either. So there's that. U-Turn said D-Rob's coming back after the bye week. That's what we're hearing, right? That's what we're hearing, that he's coming back after the bye week. That might be the case, but I also do want everybody to understand as well that I guess he's going to be ready when he's ready, right? And the only reason why I'm saying that is because there's a lot of things that are kind of happening outside football, right, in his personal life, that if he's not ready mentally, I don't know. It's a really, really touchy subject, right? It's a really touchy subject. I'm so curious. I'm really, really curious to figure out when his debut is as well. But I think we just got to speak to the human side of this all. And to me right now, when he's ready and he's ready to go, he's going to be ready, in my opinion. So there's that. Now, let me take a couple comments here in the chat. Appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. We've got Matthew in the chat. What's up, Matthew? He says, yo, Mike, much love and respect. Just dropping by to say hi. Got to get back to work. Absolutely. Have a great rest of your day at work, man. Appreciate you for stopping by. Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. We are trying to be very, very consistent here with this 12 o'clock slot in terms of being live here every day on YouTube. Next week, there might be an adjustment just for the week because of personal life thing. So there might be an adjustment, but there will be a community post to let you guys know what that adjustment is. But at the end of the day, there's also a bye week, right? So we got the bye week next week. So there's not a game to really talk about. There probably really isn't going to be very much news to talk about. So obviously we're going to try to figure out a schedule, what happens next week, but there will be content still coming your way next week dealing with the Cardinals if there's any news, anything like that. So it doesn't stop, bye week or not. Casey says, are you going to the Jets game? So me, I guess, let me give you a little personal, insight in my life here. To me, I would love to go to the Jets game. I have obligations to do content right after games all season long, right? So if I were to go to any game, I would have to leave said third quarter, which would be very, very unfortunate because the way that the games are going for the Cardinals, these games aren't decided until maybe 2 minutes, leaving the about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So I don't want to miss a second of a snap. I don't want to miss a second of anything. So it almost kind of puts me in a situation where I kind of can't go to games because of the obligations that I have to obviously create content for companies, right, that I'm also under contract with, including YouTube channel as well. So no. Short answer, no. Because it's hard for me to leave a game in the third quarter and not be involved because you also got to think of driving time, right? How long is it going to take for me to get, back to the studio from State Farm, right? So I can't be listening to the radio. That's just not the way my mind functions. I got to be watching the game, give my analysis, and go from there. So I would love to, but because I'm doing this full time, it's got to be something that, I don't have the privileges to do that. Maybe when I'm credentialed, and maybe somewhere down the pipeline that happens. Maybe I can go live in a box office. Maybe that's the plan later on. But as of right now, the studio is where it all kind of happens. So appreciate you guys' understanding. I would love to go to games. It's just can't, just because of obligations and stuff. So. We got my guy in the chat says, if you do go to a game, we will understand not having a post-game show. The thing is that it's not just YouTube. That's the thing, right? I think a YouTube family will understand that you guys can wait, right? Because it doesn't have to be right after a game, right? I don't think anybody expects, oh, Mike always have to. The thing is that I also, with Bleacher Report, if you guys do not know, I have to go live like 2 or 3 minutes after the game, for Bleacher Report. And they are very, very kind to me. Very kind to me. So, obligation, great company, love working with them, and I'm about not burning bridges. So yeah. Again, the chat says, Mike, do you know Tom Grossi? Check him out. I mean, I know of him. I don't know him personally, but I know of him. Here's my life is Cardinals family. That's what my life is. Cardinals family. Well, actually, that's actually incorrect. Arizona sports family. That's my life. Like, that's how I consume outside. If I'm not working, it's family time to me, right? So it's hard for me to get a break to watch other content. There's also some content creators that I really do enjoy watching, that are other teams, because of, obviously, we all kind of help each other get to the level that we've gotten to. But it's hard for me to watch things if I'm not spending time. Are you cold? Yes, it is 50 degrees outside. I think it's still 50 degrees outside. My house is freezing. I don't use my heater. I do not use my heater, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if it's a Hispanic thing, and if you guys don't know, yes, I'm Hispanic. I don't know if I do not use my heater unless it's freaking Arctic freeze outside. I do not use my heater. I refuse to use my heater. And yes, I am cold, right? Jacket, sweater. It's that equivalent of that meme where it's like 56 degrees winter in Phoenix, and I'm coming out here with a beanie on and potentially a face mask on. That's me, man. I've been born and raised here, Phoenix, Arizona, and hey, that's just, I shiver in 50 degree weather, and I'm not used to it. That's not what my body is used to. It's not what my blood is used to. So yes, this is I'm saving money, not turning my heater on. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's the way I live my life. So this is good questions. I appreciate you guys for being here in the chat, by the way. I don't know how this turned into Mike, tell me a little bit about your personal life as opposed to Cardinals, but I actually do kind of enjoy this. Thank you guys for being here in the chat, by the way. Sir Knight says 62. Is it 62 now? I mean, it was 50 degrees when I dropped my daughter off of at daycare earlier. Yeah, it's 62 right now. No way. Yeah, I'm going outside like this. I don't care what people say. I might actually zip up my sweater if I go outside. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And guess what? I got some very comfy pants on right now too. So I'm going outside like this too, ladies, and it's just not my house. So for what it's worth, rest of the season is what your boys got. Your boys will be bundled up. And I ain't ashamed of it. What's up, same day? He says, ketchup or no ketchup, Mike? I mean, I like ketchup. Why not? Ketchup's good, man. Ketchup's good. I don't mind. But I'm not one of those weird people that it's like ketchup on everything. I used to be when I was younger, but hot sauce took over that. It's the hot sauce thing for me now. Ketchup used to be like that when I was younger. Ketchup on everything, but I'm not weird like that anymore. I've advanced to hot sauce on everything now. So for what it's worth, that might not be better, especially for internally. But yeah, hot sauce for me all the way. X says, I grew up in Alaska and live in AZ. I love our winters. It's short and t-shirt during the day. And me, yeah, I know some people that are short sleeve shorts. And when I want to get bold, I will do that, right? When I want to get bold, I will do that sometimes here and there, once or twice. I will get bold. But for the most part, sweater, beanie on, and if it's overcasted, you might have a ski mask. I'm just kidding. No ski masks on. I'm just joking. But yeah, what's your? Oh man, I got a hot sauce for everything, my guy. A hot sauce for everything, my guy. Tapatio, Valentina, Red Devil, or the knockoff version of Red Devil. There's a hot sauce for everything. Valentina's for soups. Tapatios for anything I want to put on. Popcorn, chips, with some there's a sauce for everything. So it's hard for me to say one thing is my specific favorite hot sauce. My whole thing is filled with it. If you guys do not know, I'm Hispanic. Some people don't know that. Yeah, a little bit about me. I'm Hispanic. Some people don't know that. So yeah, hot sauce is my jam. And a little bit of an insight. My mom made pozole yesterday. So guess what? Yes, I had to go over there to eat some freaking pozole. So I was all about that. I was like, yes, I will go over there. No worries. I'll drive 25 miles. I'll do it. Yes, I'm there. Let me pick up my daughter from I'll leave work early. Yes, I will. So, a little bit into my life there, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr.? Let's get back on track here, ladies. Let's get back on track. Thank you, Hector. Let's get back. To me, honest with you. Oof. Sheesh. Okay. Let's get back on track. Let's get back. I'm not mad at Marvin Harrison Jr. Honestly, I know there's some fans out there, but what I've noticed is that fans that are not happy with Marvin Harrison Jr., they didn't want to draft him to begin with, right? that is what I've noticed before, is that if they did not want us to draft him, then they are very, very critical on a Marvin Harrison Jr. To me, he's a rookie. At the end of the day, he's a rookie. Like, he's a rookie. So to me, I'm I'm cool with them. I think the production is good at 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, that's a rookie we're talking about. And he's leading the receivers right now. So he doesn't have a guy that has 500 yards next to him, right? So he's got to kind of do everything in himself. So I like him. I think he's good. I think he's going to develop very well. I'm curious to figure out how the Cardinals are going to adjust in making this passing game more consistent, right? I don't want to say effective, but consistent. That's what I'm curious more than anything, right? I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is good. I think he's going to be even better next year. I think he's adjusting. I think he's learning. I think Marvin, Gannon, and Kyler are all saying the right things, and I have nothing but positivity for next year about the growth of what he can continue to be, right? I think we might have sold ourselves that, oh man, we're going to see Anquan Bolden numbers. We might not. We might not. And that's okay, right? If we still get 700, 800 yards and 7, 8 touchdowns from him, that's still a success. That's still a success from a rookie wide receiver. Now, of course, we all want him to be over 1K. Can he still do it? Yes, he can. But we do got to get this pass game consistently. And that's not something that we've done so far, unfortunately. Oof. Well, I don't hate him. I don't hate Sean Murphy-Bunting, but I do think it's time to start seeing the young rookies, right? I do think it's time to start seeing the young guys. And I don't know if that's what the plan was for why he was inactive last week, but I'm for it, right? It almost kind of feels like sometimes the Cardinals organization leans on veterans that we paid in free agency to get the bulk of the snaps, and it makes sense, right? But with what we've seen in the small sample size of Sean Murphy-Bunting, I think I'm willing to risk Max Melton getting those reps and him learning from those maybe 3rd and 7 conversions. But I would rather him because he's supposed to be future, right? Now I know Sean Murphy-Bunting is signed for another year or two with us, not including this year. So I think it's time for us to start adjusting and shifting over to these young cornerbacks. And obviously your Starling Thomas V, which looks pretty darn. Garrett Williams, oh my God, Garrett Williams, yeah, that man is looking all sorts of good. I'm really excited to see what he could do with us for the future. And then Max Melton, obviously being a rookie. So I think it's time. I think it's time to shift. Nothing. The level of Sean Murphy-Bunting, it's not how I felt about Marco Wilson. But it's so sad because Marco Wilson, it wasn't really his fault either. He was kind of thrown into that situation and he wasn't great, right? He wasn't great. Maybe some might say not even good, right? So I think we got some potential with these young cornerbacks. So I think it's just time. AC says, problem with the Cardinals is we're always getting players in free agency who are just not good enough. Sean Murphy-Bunting is a prime example. Well, I mean, it's not just that either, right? I guess it's hard for me to say it's hard for me to say that the Justin Jones or Bilal Nichols is not good enough, right? But best ability is availability, right? And the fact is they were brought in as Iron Man and a lot of them got hurt, right? And the Cardinals knew about the suspension of potentially happening for Zay Jones. A lot of these free agent acquisitions that the Cardinals have gotten, they didn't hit. It didn't hit on a lot of them. They only hit on one of them, in my opinion. That's Mac Wilson Sr. That man has made wonders for this Arizona Cardinal defense. Wonders for this Arizona Cardinal defense. The year prior was Kazir White. We got to be able to hit these free agency signings as well, because you don't want to spend money just to waste money, right? And it almost kind of felt like the Cardinals did. It's unfortunate, and I get it, man. They might come back next year and they might shock us all, but as of right now, this sample size of this free agency class has not shook out the way that I would have liked it to, right? Had a lot of high praises about these guys, but unfortunately, they haven't really worked out to the level that we that we wanted them to. Is what I'm trying to say. How come Xavier Weaver from Colorado hasn't played yet? Well, I think one of the biggest reason why is we're not a pass-heavy team. I want to start with that. We're not a pass-heavy team. Now, what does that mean, right? We are already struggling And I'm saying struggling because there's not a consistent pass game with our current guys we have now, right? So if we were living in a world where our passing attack was consistent, then maybe we would be able to use Xavier Weaver more. But we got Dortch, we got Michael Wilson, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. They're going to be priority over Xavier Weaver. Although I have high praises for Xavier Weaver, and I was excited that we brought him in as an undrafted free agent. Oh, sorry, undrafted rookie. I was excited, and I wanted him to get an opportunity as well. I think you got to look at this as we're not a pass-heavy team, and opportunities is very scarce right now. And they would rather give the opportunities to the guys that are going to be on the field 67, 80% of the time. Well, Xavier Weaver is probably not going to be that guy, right? So I don't know. I don't think it's really much on, I think he can ball. I think he's a good wide receiver. I really do. I still have faith in him. It's just opportunity. Is he going to get it? I don't know. That's just my own personal thing on it. Ivan says Xavier Weaver must not play special teams. Only reason why Pascal and DJ Dallas suit up. Well, the funny thing, well, it's not funny, but he was actually used in preseason as a potential kick returner, right? Or a punt returner, if I can remember correctly. I'm not sure if it was both or one or the other, but he was used in special teams. But I think right now they're just favoring Dortch, right? Dortch and what he can do with his legs. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. Like I said, right now we're not in a situation that we got to bag on everything that happens, right? The Cardinals are 5-4. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. We are 5-4 right now. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it, right? I mean, with the exception of those, Cardinal fans that are always think that we're gonna hit the Super Bowl year in and year out. This is no surprise to them, and obviously no surprise to Kyler Murray. But who would have thought it? It's nuts. We're 5-4 with the gauntlet that we started with. It's exciting times. Exciting times. I'm excited. You're excited. We should all be excited, right? AC says the questionable passing attack is the Drew Petzing problem. It's hard for me to pinpoint a specific problem, right? Because they don't even know what the problem is. You know what I mean? For me to sit outside this locker room and to say this is the problem, I think I would just be lying to you. I think it's everything. I really do. I think they need to come to a kumbaya. I think they need to be locked into in a film room, and they got to figure it out. That's what I think they got to do. Now, it almost seemed like that happened in the week prior when we were playing. Well, how can I not remember who was the second win? Oh my God, how can I not remember? Why am I blinking right now? Yo, what is going on right now? Miami. Oh my God. Wow. Miami. You're right, Miami. So it almost seemed like they got it right in the Miami game, right? With him going over 100 yards and it looked good. It's just what we're seeing is inconsistencies with this passing attack. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say, oh, it's this or it's that. I just think that they all need to get together and figure it out. That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. They need to get together and figure it out. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not going to blame it on Kyler solely because I don't think it's all Kyler. I don't think it's all on the wide receivers. I think it's an accumulation of a lot of different things. I really do. Drew Petzing, you could throw him in there too, right? It's just, I know there's not an answer that you guys want to hear, but the only person that's going to be able to resolve it is the people in the locker room. That's it, right? Because if I say anything, it's lip service. You know what I mean? Ivan, $5 donation. My goodness, Ivan, you fund this channel. I just want to say that. Thank you so very much for another super chat, man. Appreciate you. He comes out and says this. Bothers me that the national pundits say we're leading the division because of everyone else's injuries. We need a statement game this week, 6-4. Oh, man. Who said that? If you don't mind me asking. Here's the thing. I don't really listen to a lot of national stuff. I really don't. Where I get my national clips from is X/Twitter. So if there's something about the Arizona Cardinals, obviously I'll pay attention to, but I don't go out of my way to turn on ESPN anymore. I don't go out of my way to turn on NFL Network anymore. It's just with what I do, there's so much things in the background that I have to go ahead and get situated here, right? With all the sponsors and all the things that I got in my back. I don't have time to do it, right? So if you don't mind me asking, who said that? Because that's wild to me, right? Who said it? That's wild to me because, the Cardinals are dealing with injuries too. And we don't have on paper the best roster, right? But we went toe-to-toe with the Lions. We went toe-to-toe with the Bills. Now, did we catch them early? Maybe, right? Maybe we caught them early. That's fine. I guess that's a fair assessment to say. But, like, we're 5-4. We absolutely demolished the Bears, which are supposed to have one of the best defenses. We absolutely demolished the Rams, which they were still puffing their chest out. They didn't think it was a big deal that the Cardinals, were fairly healthy compared to them being all, injuries everywhere. They're like, oh, we got this. It's the Cardinals. Well, guess what? They didn't have it, right? They didn't have it. We beat them down. So that's wild to me that people are saying that. Ivan says, yep, NFL Network and ESPN. That is crazy. Wow. I mean, there's a reason why ESPN made a shift to getting a show like the Pat McAfee show on their station. There's a reason for that, because content creators, and not just the Cardinals, and I'm not sure, but there's a content creator for every team out there. If you guys don't know, it's true. We have a network on the outside that I work with that has a content creator for every single their respected team. They got one. And I know right now, not YouTube, just YouTube, but it's on TikTok. It's on every social platform out there. And I think ESPN has noticed that what's going to be the closest thing that we can do to bring this young audience in to captivate, right? And that's going to be obviously the Pat McAfee show. Personally, I don't watch it myself, but I know it's a very, very engaging show. And I know there's a lot of people that really tune into it. And they got, Aaron Rodgers on there week in and week out. So people love to pay attention to it. That is the shift in terms of what this new media is looking like, right? Believe it or not, ESPN, they're scrounging around, right? They're trying to figure out the next best thing. This whole traditional media is hurting right now. It's hurting right now because of content creators and what they're doing, right? Because you're getting an actual analysis of people who watch this day in and day out, right? That actually breathe and watch this respected team, and not just looking at, oh, the Cardinals are 5-4. Let's just throw something out there, right? And let's just say some BS because it makes sense. No, the Cardinals are a legitimate team. I'm not gonna say Super Bowl, and I know I have my guy Jonathan out there. I'm not sure if he's watching, but he's always telling me, stop saying we're not a Super Bowl team. But I still don't believe it right now. But we still can be a team that wins the West. I still think it's attainable, right? Whether you blame injuries or not, I still think with what we have in front of us, the schedule we have in front of us, obviously one game at a time, don't get too ahead of ourselves. I'm aware of that. But if the Cardinals can take care of business, and if this locker room truly feels like Kyler Murray says, like we're not too high, we're not too low, then I think we're in a good spot. I really do. I really think we're in a good spot. Ivan with the you're a spot on content creators for the win, for the people, yeah, it's the truth. And that's the thing. Like they do not want to admit it, but the ESPN would not have made a move like that, because what that Pat McAfee show, it goes against anything ESPN used to do. Completely goes against everything they used to do. That suit and tie to tank top, right? And like I said, I've watched a few shows here and there, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I watch every show every day. I don't, right? I'm too busy in my life to get my own content out here to provide you guys something to watch about your favorite team, to acknowledge the fact that, I don't, but that they wouldn't be making a move like that. You know what I mean? They know that there is a market for what we do as content creators. Believe it or not, there's a market for it. There is. So shout out to you guys in the chat, man. Honestly, you guys make it all happen, right? Obviously, Jonathan, Robert, Michael, Austin here in the chat, Agent 47, X. You guys are truly what keeps the wheels going on what a random Arizona Cardinal fan that one day decided to pick up his phone and text his wife saying, I want to make a video about my reaction on the Arizona Cardinals. And my wife said, okay, all right, what are you going to do with that? I'm going to put it on YouTube. Okay, that's cool. And yeah, I started with the little flip desk with the little David Johnson bobblehead, and what I forgot my other bobbleheads that I used to have. Is what I started with, right? We all start somewhere, right? And I am actually really glad to see there is some guys that are attempting to get into this space. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Whether you like me or you don't like me, keep doing it. Because honestly, there is a lot of room for potential growth to completely keep exceeding with what we're doing here as an independent worker, whatever you want to call it, right? Some people call it new media, whatever. There is a big, big space for it. And if you don't like me, that's fine. But if you've seen me before and you want to do what I do, just look at my channel. Yeah, the book is the blueprint's right there, ladies and gentlemen. The blueprint's right there. I recommend it. I wish we had more. I really do. I wish we had more. We don't. We're one of the smaller markets, and I get it. We're back-to-back 4-win seasons. If that turns around and we're a competitive team, you'll start seeing more content creators for the Arizona Cardinals. I promise you on that. Junior, what's up, buddy? Appreciate the super chat, man. He says, yo, what's up, Mike? I'm feeling good about our season so far. The outsiders are really finding days to the values of our win. Sorry, the outsiders are really finding days to the values of our win. I'm assuming you're saying like the outside noise is now starting to recognize that the wins that we have and we're 5-4, they're now starting to see that, is what you're saying? I mean, well, if that's what you're saying, then I agree, right? I agree. I agree. So no, this is it's a good time, right? It's a good time. And guess what, Agent 47? If you were at the old house, because you're right, I've already moved twice, and guess what? I'm gonna move again. So next year, I'm actually moving into a bigger studio, bigger office in the new place that I have designated for me to make a better setup going on, right? Because at one point, it almost kind of seemed like I was changing studios, changing. It's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen. I've been in this for about 2-3 years now. I'm at 2 years. It's gonna happen again. We're gonna lift it up. We're gonna face it up. And at the end of the day, all you guys, all you guys here in the chat, man, whether you like me or you don't like me or you watch me just because you want to hear me say something dumb, regardless, I appreciate you for being in the chat or smacking the like button, because honestly, it does really help out. Ulysses, thank you. So yeah, no, it's a good thing. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. I use it as a therapy session, truly. Like honestly, mentally health wise, people don't understand how bad this team affects me mentally. Like, and I'm not saying, oh, there's other people like me, and that's what they relate to, because there's other people that allow this team to affect their absolute mental health, and they do. And this is my therapy. It really is. This is a therapy for me, because that's what I told my wife too. I told my wife, I want to start this YouTube channel. She said, okay, whatever. I mean, that's fine. In 2019, when Kyler Murray got drafted, I was like, I'm excited. Okay. She was like, all right, whatever. I was like, it's going to help my mental health. Okay, whatever. You don't care? No, okay, whatever. Okay. Buys a stand, buys a little microphone, and the rest is history from there. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, then you're not gonna last. If you don't have thick skin, you're not gonna last. If you can't be told you're not a real Cardinal fan or that you're a Kyler Murray hater, you're not gonna last. How many times I've been called that over and over and over and over again? You're not gonna last. Get tough skin, get a mic, get a camera, you're set. You're golden. Bart, what's up, Bart? He says, thank you so much for what you do. We all appreciate you bringing us Arizona Cardinal news and updates. No, absolutely. Thank you. No, thank you for watching, honestly. Yeah, you guys clicking in the videos and smacking the like button, it's a lot more than you guys think. Your guys' initial extra effort is smacking the like button or commenting. That's literally all I ask. Like, seriously, that's literally all I ask. The super chats, the memberships, that's all cherry on top of the ice cream. Like, seriously, that's cherry on top of the ice cream. But like, you're engaging is all I need. That's all I need. So, okay. So let's do this real quick. Let me do a real quick going on to the X/Twitter world here real quick. This podcast is everywhere. This podcast is everywhere. We talked about me being Hispanic. We talked about me being cold. We talked about me liking hot sauce over ketchup. This was a wild podcast, but I thank you so very much, everybody, for being here, by the way. I want to just do a real quick search here on X/Twitter if there's any news that's currently going on. And yeah, nothing right now that we've seen currently, any updates. The biggest thing is that Darius Robinson hasn't been in practicing again. He hasn't practiced at all this week at all. So for what it's worth, he's most likely not going to suit up here in week 9. But I don't think anybody really expected him to, right? So there's that, right? So there's that. Hopefully, after the bye week is what we're all hoping for, fingers crossed. There we go. Here we go. Let's give it up for Quad. Quad, appreciate you. Mike's the biggest Kyler hater of all time. Love to see it. Love to see it. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being in the chat. Let's see. We don't have much Cardinals content YouTubers, so it will happen. Trust me. Once the Cardinals get better and hopefully more consistent, they will. They will. It's just a matter of time. I mean, I started in 2019. There were some years that I was like, I need to quit. Oh my God, this is so brutal. But, stick with it, right? You can't build it, or you can't build it in a year. You can't build it in 4 months. Will you have success in 3 or 4 months from the jump? Yeah, you might have really good success to start, especially if you're really, really spot on of people agreeing with you. You might, but it's not about the success to start. It's but you consistently continuing to do it, right? You can have success, and that's cool. But how are you going to be able to sustain the times when things go bad, when the views aren't coming in, when these is happening, when that's happening, right? All these things are stacked up against you. How are you going to be able to face that, right? That's going to be the biggest key. Consistency. Consistency is the key. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if people aren't watching. You got to keep it going. Got to keep it going. Junior with the super chat, man. Appreciate you. He says, I meant to say, oh, they devalued our wins. Oh, okay. I mean, which is wild to me. We've won pretty good games. Like, we destroyed two teams with the Bears and the Rams. Destroyed 2 of them, and then we won the 49ers, the Miami Dolphins with Tua back, and then the Chargers with a brutal defensive game. Whatever. Honestly, all I can say is don't listen to those people. Like, if ESPN is ever on in my vicinity, it's background noise to me. ESPN, NFL Network, it's background noise to me. I like to see it sometimes because I like to be somewhat engaged or involved in what's currently going on. I don't listen, I don't watch, I don't get too bent out of shape about it because honestly, at the end of the day, there's no opinion. There's no point. There really isn't. Let me take a look here. Want to make sure that no other noise. Okay, cool. Nothing else that I'm seeing here right now that has been worth noting, talk about earlier. We dived into what Kyler Murray had to say yesterday. I know there was a most recent press conference here from Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm curious to figure out if anybody has watched that here. It is on the Arizona Cardinals YouTube page right now. Let me see when was it posted? Yeah, that's really short. Okay, let's take a look at this, shall we? It's only 4 minutes. Hey, this ain't no thing. Let's watch this. It's only 4 minutes long. Who say I in the chat? Well, regardless if you say I or not, I'm going to watch this regardless. So let's do that. Let's watch this, shall we? Here we go. Who's live right now on AZ Sports Fan? That's wild. Just kidding. All right, let's go.
Jets defense, what goes through your mind?
Very talented. We got a lot of talented pieces on all phases. The front line's really good. Obviously, the back end definitely gonna be a challenge for us.
Kind of talked about this team as a team that their record really doesn't reflect.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, they're probably one of the most talented teams in the league. If you just on paper.
He's right there. The Jets, on paper, have a very good roster. A very good roster. And they had a really good win this last week against the Texans. I was hoping the Texans were going to take care of business. I really was, because that means they're dead under the water. Now they have a little light of hope, which is not a good thing, but obviously the Cardinals just need to take care of business. But he's right there.
Obviously, they probably haven't had the season they thought they'd have, but definitely a talented team. They got a big win their last week or last Thursday. So I'm sure they're trying to keep momentum.
How much does the extra days to prepare help them when you see that they played earlier in the week?
I mean, at this late in the season, I think more importantly, getting your body right. There's not much more they're preparing for us. I don't think any extra. It's just they get a chance to have their body rest a couple more days than they probably would have if they played on Sunday.
So you go from Jalen Ramsey to Jalen Johnson to now Sauce Gardner.
Right?
They definitely study receivers. They're studying you. How much do you study corners?
Definitely early in the week. Try to just learn the press techniques. Like Jalen Johnson didn't really play the field that much. Sauce kind of just plays on one side, so every corner is different. Jalen kind of played everywhere. So you got to just get tendencies from each player and then figure out ways how you can attack them.
Yeah, how much do you adjust your game week to week just based on who might be checking you?
I mean, everybody's technique is different. I still try to play my game. At the end of the day, they have to cover me, they have to guard me, and kind of react to me. So trying to adjust too much, but just be prepared for anything that they may throw at me.
How comforting.
Real quick, who's happy about having Marvin Harrison Jr. on your roster? Let me know in the chat. Can you just put a fire emoji or a thumbs down? Like, what are your thoughts on him? I'm so happy we got this guy. I really am. I think he's going to blossom into a really good wide receiver for years to come. What are your thoughts in the chat?
Is it to know that you guys can beat teams in different ways? Like 2 weeks ago was the pass game.
Yeah.
Last week was clearly the run game. It's got to be a good thing to know that you guys can kind of do what you need to do.
Definitely, that's the sign of a great offense. Teams may, like you said, may want to take away the run. How Miami did, and sometimes you got to pass the ball, and receivers have to kind of make plays on the outside to help win the game. And you have a situation like last week where they kind of play a lot of cover 2, a lot of shell defense, and kind of forcing you to run the ball. And we ran it for about 200 yards. So I think the great offenses can do both, and I think that's definitely really good for us moving forward.
What's it like when you see your offensive line and your running backs kind of impose their will on opposing defense and just really break their spirit almost?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get a sense like some teams that they don't want to play no more, and they kind of just break down. I think it's one thing when you pass the ball and, all over the place on a defense. When we actually run the ball every single play, it gets exhausting. So I'm sure it just breaks them down.
How do you handle
That's amazing.
kind of the output ups and downs? Like 111 one week, 20 something the next. Like, how have you kind of?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's definitely tough. You kind of want to have one of those games every game, but that's kind of not the reality of the NFL. And like you said, some games you might have to run the ball for 20 yards and kind of adjust to what the defense is kind of giving you. And at the end of the day, the win is the most important. But the ups and downs, you kind of just have to stick to your process week in and week out. The result's going to be what the result's going to be, but as long as your process stays consistent throughout the week, that's the most important.
Has tight end play been like an eye opener for you, like to see the things that Trey McBride does in the pass run game, and he's hurdling guys out there?
Yeah.
It's like, man, this is a tight end.
I mean, he's amazing, man. Trey is just super talented, has really great ball skills. Probably the best thing is, like he said, with the ball in his hands, you give him a jet sweep on the goal line. Like, not many tight ends can do that. So he's just really a special talent, a great addition to this offense, and just everything that we can do with him makes us very dangerous.
How do you rate your
Trey McBride is a beast.
Wilson's catch last week?
Oh, gee, that's probably one of the best catches I've definitely seen. I'm seeing him make plenty of catches. That's probably the best one I've seen him make, though.
One open this week?
I mean, I'm just trying to get a catch at this point, to get catches. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely the stat sheet kind of says one thing. And just based on how the defense is playing, you got us and as a whole, but you just kind of get better each and every week to take advantage of the opportunity that you're given.
Does it make it easier when it's a win?
Yeah, definitely. When it's win, everything's good.
Right.
Will the coverages change over the course of the game against you, or what you see early in the game? Is that pretty much what you're going to get the rest of the game?
I don't know. I'm not the defensive coach. I'm sure they have their game plans. Like, okay, early on in the game, we're going to try to take away this, and if it continues to work, we'll stick with it. If it doesn't, we may adjust, we may not. But I'm not really sure what their thought process going into the games. We'll just kind of see what they do, and like he said, we can do both. We can run the ball or pass the ball. I think that makes it very dangerous.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, there's that for what it's worth here, ladies and gentlemen. Winning. That's that's number one. That's number one. Winning. Number one is winning. You heard that from Kyler. You heard that from Marv. I mean, that's the most important thing. It is. I mean, the stats are great, right? But winning is the most important thing. And some people don't understand that, and that's fine. To me, it's always going to be like that. I put, as a fan, winning over what Kyler Murray looks like. And that's why when some people said, oh, Kyler Murray, it's nothing to do with it. You got to pick your battle. Kyler Murray didn't need to throw the ball. His stats are the way that it is. He didn't need to throw the ball. He even said that himself. I mean, this is what he said about the win on his stat sheet this last week.
For to win that way, or with you having to do what you can do?
A win is a win. Obviously you want to throw the ball around the yard and, have all the flashy plays, but it's too hard to win in this league. So, you take it and we move on to the next one.
Yep. Agree. I think the Cardinals right now are in a very, very good spot. I'm super excited about it. Still not 100% sure if we're going to be doing the live play-by-play here on Sunday versus the Jets. One other thing is that we are bringing back the behind the enemy lines. I have noticed that a lot of people don't really watch it, but we're going to be releasing those on Saturday. We're going to pre-record it here sometime during the week and release it on Saturday. But so if you're not used to this channel releasing content on Saturdays, we are going to be releasing content on Saturdays now. The behind the enemy lines are actually going to be on Saturdays, especially if we have a Sunday game, to kind of get you prepared for how an insider / content creator / people who cover their team every single week in and week out gives us an inside look of how he feels about his team. So those behind enemy lines will be coming back this Saturday. We're going to be having one with one of my good buddies here, Jets Media. So look out for that here this coming Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we are going to be closing up shop. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are absolutely amazing. I don't know how much more else I have to say this, but thank you all for being in the chat. Super chatters, Junior, Ivan, everybody who's smacked the like button, people who are just consistently showing up and constantly engaging. Thank you, everybody. We're going to be giving a shout out here to BetUS, which is the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. That's going to be BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sportsbook, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are absolutely been amazing in the chat. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cardinals.